What's up, graphic designers? Today we're going to be creating PNG cutouts of student leaders of the various clubs from the club fair that we had not too long ago here at the lab school. And so here is what I know. We had an amazing time at the fair itself. What we're going to want to do is figure out who we're cutting out for the specific poster, like who we're assigned to. And you're going to find your name in column A. You're going to find the club name in column B. And then you're going to reference this photo album right here. And so if you have ACC, you're going to evaluate the few options we have. We're going to select the best one. Likewise, Ride for Riley, maybe it's the chess club or the music club. And when you're done, when you complete, for example, when Diego's done with the body positivity club, he's going to write simply done. Likewise for Brandon, Olivia, and Spencer. All right, so we're creating PNG cutouts. Let's spend a few minutes talking about best practices. What's the most efficient way of doing this? So here's what I know. I know that we have the object selection tool, and so if I left click and drag, it's going to create a selection, but it's not going to be optimal, right? And we really want to represent active minds. So if we press Command C, file new, and then just press return or enter, Command V to paste, this is what we have, and this does not look tremendous, right? So I'm confident we can improve upon this, but it is a nice starting point. So I'm going to close out this window, and we're going to do this one more time. So I'm going to click and drag, and then this looks beautiful. You'll notice a moment ago, you'll recall that the hair isn't well selected, and if the student has like dark hair against the dark background, there's not a whole lot of contrast. And I also see that it grabbed this area as well, and we want to eliminate background elements, and we want to make sure that we include all components of the individual. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to click the subtract function. So subtract from selection, and I'm going to simply click and drag like so, and we're going to do it one more time. And you'll notice that it's still picking up some additional elements. So what I can do is go 2 buttons up, and I'm going to select the rectangular marquee. I'm going to click subtract, and we can simply eliminate that. I'm going to return to the object selection. I'm going to click add to. We're going to get this piece of Grayson's sweater. And you know what I know? When I zoom in, it's not getting it completely. So you guys need to have eagle eyes. So then we can simply right click the magnetic lasso to pull it up, and I'm going to click add to. Beautiful. And so this is our third selection tool. So already we did the object selection, we did the magnetic lasso, and the rectangular marquee. So here's what I think maybe is going to make the most sense, right? Because we want to clean up this selection. What is the easiest way to go about doing that? So I'm going to press Command minus to zoom out just a tad, and believe it or not, I'm going to use the rectangular marquee, subtract selection, and I'm going to get rid of all this. And we're going to sort of start over. Okay, this looks great. And what to do now? So now we've got a few options. We can use the magnetic lasso, and we're making sure that the add to function is selected. And I'm just clicking and I'm going around, and that works well. And so I'm going to seal this up. Additionally, and you guys are going to like this as well, I'm going to zoom in just a tad. And what we can do is we can right click the rectangular marquee, select the elliptical marquee, and then if you left click and then you're making a selection, and then if you hold the space bar, we can then shift that selection around. So what we can do is we can create a nice smooth selection like so. And then this looks great. And then we can sort of finish this with the with the magnetic lasso. Likewise right here, I'm using the elliptical marquee. And again, we want to shift the selection around. We can hold spacebar until we get it right where we want it. Then we're going to release the spacebar. And then this looks great. And then so we can sort of just do a combination of this. And so there we go. I'm using the, oh, that's way too much. I'm going to press Command Z. All right. And so you can simply go ahead and add all the elements. I'm going to right click. I'm just going to use the lasso tool, and probably you do not want to use the lasso tool, but it's another option at your disposal, and it can come in handy, but the selections frequently are not amazing. So I'm not going to do the best selection, but you're going to see in a moment what we're striving for. So I'm going to press Command C to copy, file new, enter, Command V to paste. And you know, this selection is not amazing. You guys are going to spend far more time on this because we want really precise selections. We'll recall that we're going to unlock the background layer. We're going to press delete, and we're going to save this as a PNG. Additionally, some of the boards themselves, these placards, there's not a whole lot of contrast. So what I'm going to urge you guys to do is we're going to fudge it a little bit. And I'm going to actually get this purple. I'm going to deepen it just a tad. I'm using the paint bucket. And then if we click Active Minds, all of a sudden pops, and it sort of keeps the integrity of their handwriting. Does that seem reasonable to you? Does this make sense? All right, so that looks much better. You're going to save it as a PNG. Let's do this very briefly one more time, and you'll see exactly what I mean. So I'm going to use the object selection, and I'm going to click and drag. Click and drag, and let's try that one last time. Click and drag and release. It's thinking it's working. That's, it's not amazing. Again, if I press Command C, File New, Enter, Command V to paste, this is not the optimal selection that we're looking for. So I'm going to right click, select the rectangular marquee, and I'm simply going to eliminate these elements right here because everything else looks pretty decent. You are probably going to want to go in and maybe get the watch, get his sleeve, that kind of thing. And then what we can do is right click, pull up the elliptical marquee, add to function, and capturing hair is very tricky, especially when they have dark hair on a dark background. So you can sort of play around with it a little bit, and you're going to do what makes sense. All right. So it's going to look a little bit like this. Now I'm going to switch to the magnetic lasso. Add to selection is checked. There we go. Beautiful. So you're going to spend a lot of time on this. And I'm not going to lie. At times it can be a little tedious, but the quality, the ultimate product is going to be worth it. We're going to recall that rule number 2 is to work hard. We're going to have patience with ourselves, with me, with Photoshop, with this project. Press Command C to copy, File New, Enter, Command V to paste, unlock the background. We're going to delete it. We're going to want to make sure that we get all the heads. We're going to save it as a PNG. When you're at this stage, you're going to raise your hand. You're going to say Drost, approval needed, and then approval will be granted, or it'll be postponed with a couple suggestions of things that you can do to improve it. Let me know if you have any questions. Good luck.